Today's job is to plant germinated sprouts of coffee. If you are planting coffee, you have to take a few details into mind. The first important detail is to make sure that the plant is healthy, so that it doesn't have a diffuse or like split root. So you don't want to have two roots or have no principal main root and just a spread of little roots. That is the first thing you have to consider when you're planting sprouted coffee plant. So the next thing that's important is if you have a root and the root is too long, you don't want it to curl over as it's growing. So you snip it such that you have about an inch of root, and then you make your hole in your little coffee planter, put in the root, and close it from the bottom up, such that there's no air pockets that would essentially starve the root out.
Okay, Carly?
So Carly's going to show us how she does one. How many have you done this morning, Carly?
We've done a row or so.
Okay.
Full row of these. I'm not sure how many.
Probably a couple hundred.
A couple hundred. In 2 or 3 hours. Okay. So I clip the root. Dig my hole. Plant it.
Muy bien.
There you go.
Muy bien.
Okay.
So these little sprouts were taken from a little germinator that allowed them to sprout out from beans. And then once they were suitably sized, they're transferred to these fundas, which are little plastic planters. And they're replanted here, and they're allowed to stay here 4 to 5 months before they're big enough so that you can bring them out onto the mountains and actually plant them to become coffee plants.
Okay, so ¿quién va a recibir las plantas cuando se crecen?
The coffee plants are going to go directly to the producers of coffee, which are like local farmers around here. The Ministry of Environment here in the Dominican has agreed to give some support to local growers, such that in collaboration with reforestation brigades, they can go and plant coffee in reforested areas. The coffee plants here this area is a primarily coffee growing area. It's the birthplace of the River Yuna. It's high altitude, and coffee is what grows well here, and what provides a lot of the economy for a lot of the coffee growers. He says, though, that the main benefit that is done by responsible coffee planting is the environment. The environment will be the area that will benefit most from coffee planters planting responsibly, not using overt chemicals, and planting in reforested and protecting the local flora and fauna as well as their coffee. What's most important is protecting the waters, because it's not just waters that help the people here, it's the hundreds of thousands of families that receive water from the Yuna River as it flows down from this mountain. There are two primary partners in taking care of the environment here with all of their projects: the Federacion and the Campesinos themselves and the government. But there's a third party as well, and that's us as Canadians, as members of Intercordia, that are coming here and also contributing to the maintenance of the Yuna River, the health of the Yuna River, and the environment here, and also community wellness within our places. And so he says that that's something that we ought to consider, that we too play a part in how all of this takes place and is preserved.
Gracias.
Okay.
Gracias.
Okay.